Today's episode of My Worst Date is brought to you by Audible.
Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/myworstdate.
Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player.
Cheers! Whenever we're ready, are we going right now?
Oh, sorry.
going.
I'm like
Yeah,
sitting
yeah.
here talking about my depressing shit.
Okay, guys, do you want to hear something from this week that filled me, and Cassie probably already knows, but like filled me with a visceral rage that I did not expect.
Oh, Jesus.
Like,
I mean, I think
which
I'm
one
ready.
of the like multiple things that happened
no.
this week?
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly.
Yeah, not one of those. I mean, I'm just a ball of rage,
yeah.
this entire week.
You're
but
like, I'm
this
Rage Against
is
the Machine
this
right
is
now.
more lighthearted than that. This not only filled me with rage, it filled me with a lot of like weird emotions that like I was like laughing in my car, but also like angry about this. Okay, so
This is a strange mix of emotions.
it is. And
Glass
this
case
is
of emotions.
what it is. This is what it is, and leave it to me for it to be food related.
Okay.
Okay.
It is Oscar Mayer is releasing a hot dog ice cream sandwich.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And when I heard
I had
like,
chills.
okay, so
Oh.
when you hear that, like, what do you think? Do you just think it's like, at first I was like, all right, it's probably like a Choco Taco situation where it like looks like a hot dog, but it's actually like
Ice cream.
like
makes
made of
me-
ice cream.
Do you remember when the pink slime stuff was like really popular, or not popular, but was like a big,
like you ate it?
no, like remember it was a big scandal that they were putting it in ground beef.
Oh, yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Pink
they like
sludge or whatever.
they would like show it, and it looked like soft serve or whatever.
Yes.
Like that's
it was in McDonald's meat.
yeah, that is what is in my head right now.
Okay, well, let me break this down to you.
Gross.
And like I'm telling you guys, like I heard this and I was driving in my car and I was like laughing, but also like my face felt really hot. Like I was like, why?
I know. I have like weird body chills right now.
All right. Well, I mean, prepare yourself because
I'm allergic to dairy, so I'm winning in this.
yeah, you're like, no.
I can't. Sorry.
What if they had a vegan option?
No.
You're like, oh shit. The ice dog sandwich
Oh,
contains candied hot dog bits.
ew,
Okay, come
ew.
So they cut up
No,
hot dogs
no.
and they candied them like in
No.
brown sugar or something. It's so gross. This is the grossest thing because I want you guys to tell me what you think this is even. Hot dog sweet cream,
No.
which
Hot
is
dog
like,
sweet cream.
No.
is that
No.
Is
That
that-
sounds like a sex act. To be honest. Like,
Ew,
hey girl,
I don't want that.
You want that hot
You
dog
up?
sweet cream?
Ew. That's fucking gross. That is so gross.
Oh my
Ew.
god.
I don't like that at all.
What
not like
what it
that
sounds like
at
to
all.
me is that they're making ice cream using like hot dog water.
Ew, ew.
Gross.
Oh my god.
Isn't that disgusting?
Ew.
Okay.
Oh. I don't know what to do with my emotions right now.
Spicy Dijon gelato.
What?
Ew.
Get the fuck out of here.
Get out.
No.
And then a cookie bun.
Get cookie.
Why?
What
Why?
Wait.
And why? And what?
No.
And
I
like
hate
it
all of
doesn't even
this.
look at like look at this picture because like the sweet cream hot dog gelato with the candied bits are on one half and then the like mustard
Okay,
gelato
so what are
is
you
on the
supposed
other
to do?
half.
Are you supposed to bite one side and then immediately bite the other? It's like
like
hate
eat
this.
one side on its own and then eat the other side on its own?
I hate this.
Why?
I hate this.
You know, this is really like just because you can do something does
Doesn't
not
mean
mean
you
you
should.
should.
Girl, for real, because
We're playing
why?
God now, and I don't like it.
We are Frankensteining. Like,
Yeah.
Hot dogs themselves are pretty franken motherfucking.
I mean, they
Yes.
are, but then like, why make it weirder? Like,
Oh, I don't
and
like
I don't know.
this.
It's like there's this weird trend where people just feel like they can do whatever with ice cream now. Like there was a couple months ago when like Hellman's, I think it was Hellman's, made
Oh
like
God,
a
no!
mayonnaise
don't,
ice cream.
Don't,
Yes,
fuck
they
outta
sure
here.
did. They sure did. And you know what's weird about that is like that makes more sense than a hot dog.
It does actually,
because at least it's like a cream base with eggs in it. Like how much different is that from like a frozen custard? But like hot dog ice cream,
I hate it.
I'm telling you, I was like,
what is wrong with us?
I was mad. I was like mad.
I am too. I know exactly how you feel now. I'm just like, what is wrong with us?
I don't know.
Like, there are people that are starving, and we're making bullshit like this.
No, like welcome to the second Gilded Age.
There's like a science involved with this. A science where there's scientists involved, scientists who could be doing things with their scientific degrees.
Yes.
Other than
preach
making fucking toilet water hot dogs. Ice cream.
Girl, I feel that way every time I see like a nonsense study. Like, have you ever seen like a study where you're like, it's so obvious and you're just like, we had scientists working on this shit?
Right.
Like, isn't that insane? Like, someone's like, yawning's contagious. Science proves after 12 years of study.
Christ.
I'm like, fucking duh.
12 years of study.
The only like
here.
scientist I knew was like back in the day, I kind of saw, this was like pre my ex, I saw a scientist that worked at Battelle in Columbus, and he like had a degree and everything, and BT Dubs,
like you do.
Yeah, he was the biggest alcoholic I've ever known. He would show up to Battelle drunk.
Wow.
He like took me in there at one point, and like you had to get like a special pass. He was drunk off his ass, and he's like, this is what I do all day. And he took a beaker and just started like pouring water into test tubes, and that was his fucking job. That's all he did all day, was just he had to fill water on the test tubes to a very precise level.
Why do any of us go to college?
Very quickly and easily.
It is now. It is 100% is replaced by a machine right now.
I was like, I don't think you want drunk Pete in charge of the water levels. He's like one-eyeing him. He's like,
that looks about right.
Close.
Close. I feel like they're doing really important experiments here. And it's Soup's imperative that you are precise.
In this water. Let's see what happens.
One's just hot dog water.
Yeah. He gave me a knife from there. It was like a ceramic knife, and he's like, do you want this? And I was like, sure.
What?
This is so random.
What in the fuck is happening?
I mean, sure, but also why? Like, okay.
So, like, yeah.
Scientists, reach out to us. Is this your job? Are you able to get drunk at work?
Are you still
and if
working
so,
there?
Can we get a job there?
Like, just all day with
Do I need a degree for this?
I know, apparently, yeah. Up to his neck in student loans, and
that is
just putting water
ridiculous.
in test tubes.
Wow.
So that's the system.
Dear.
Yikes.
Well, I have something that really moved me this week as well that I'd like to share. As we know, and we've plugged it before, we've got a website that you can go on and email and talk to us. It's myworstatepodcast.com. And we got something in our mail this week on a particularly difficult day, I might add. And I love how the universe works. That it's just like, you know what? You were kind of struggling today. Let's balance it out.
Yeah, let's give you a little good news.
Amen.
Yeah.
That's so true.
We got an email from a listener named Melissa who wrote out this really heartfelt email about also going through a divorce, and her and I are pretty much neck and neck. She's hers happened around like 6 months after mine, a bad breakup that they were together for like 10 years, consisted of him gaslighting her, making her feel like she was crazy, and kept like asking for her feelings, but then when she would offer him up, be like, you're being crazy right now, which is, my God, the literal worst. But she was talking about how it's really the community that we've built, which it just really touched me, because we've talked about starting this as like a lark, and I just didn't realize, and I'm constantly realizing now how much like that we're out there, and we may not realize that we might be helping somebody. You know, I tend to isolate myself and be like, oh man, like this is happening to me. But then I realize like people go through breakups, and it's just so nice to be able to connect with people like Melissa, who did reach out and were like, yeah, this sucks. I'm going through it too. And thank you for putting it out there. And I want to thank her for writing out there and making me realize that like it's not just me. And so keep writing us, and you guys help me, I think, way more than I feel like I help anybody. So I just want to say thank you.
Yeah.
And that's enough of the
heartfelt mushy,
stuff,
gushy stuff.
mushy gushy. But
Well,
I love that though. And I think that you're right, Melissa. I think our community is really grown into something that we could never have fucking imagined. Like, honestly, just the support I see from each, like, people posting on our group and who are like, I'm going through this situation, and people giving advice.
oh, I know.
Stuff like that. People sharing their stories about stuff that's stuck up inside of
Oh
them.
my God, that made my
guys.
life this week.
That's going to be my
That
story
made
this week.
My life
Guys,
this week.
listen, I will say this about our listeners.
You come correct.
You come. We ask, and y'all fucking deliver. Like last week, I was like, I want shit stuck in shit stories. And you guys...
Oh
You
my
guys
God.
sent them in. We
What a
got
week.
condoms stuck in
We are
places. We got tampons stuck in places.
We got tampons and
Cash
tampons.
and meth.
Cash and meth.
Cash and meth.
Cash and meth outside.
Accidentally up in of a JJ.
Oh, it's not hers.
She just
not
fell on some meth.
Doesn't know how it got there.
Oh my God. It's amazing. But, to kind of like talk about like what you guys were talking about, like I was telling you guys before we started recording that even on my personal social media, people have reached out to say, even if they're not going through a breakup, right? Because like me and Cassie are in relationships, and, we're not going through the dating thing right now. And even though this is a dating show, people who aren't in relationships still reach out and say like, hey, thank you for like making me laugh on a day whenever I was having like a really tough day.
Yeah.
And like, I think that that's really, really special. I love that we can share that with people, and that people in return share that with us and make us feel like so like warm and fuzzy and connected. I don't know. We need that. We need to feel fucking connected right now.
The friendship. Yeah. Because I feel like that's the main message of our podcast. It's like dating sucks. There's a lot of things about life that suck, but holy fuck, man. Friends make your life go
and
round.
the world's been been really tough to exist in right now.
Yeah.
It has been. And so to me, it makes all the difference when I can feel connected to people. Like it's so important for me to feel like
in a world that feels so divided, to be able
so
to
disconnected.
come together and connect on something that feels like, light. And I mean, we joke about dating. We have some serious talks. We have some funny talks, but I think it's something we can all relate to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah. And please keep reaching out, keep writing. Like, I feel like that is the number one thing that's going to get us through life, It's just making those connections with people. So email us, reach out to, a friend, join our Facebook group, make all these new friends, just make connections, because that's really, at the end of the day, like it can feel really heavy and it can feel really serious, but
and lonely
and isolating, but you're not alone. And so that's what a reminder it was to get that email from Melissa this week. And I want to thank her for that.
Yeah. So since we're kind of just like gushing about our
amazing
listeners right now, we got 2 new patrons.
Hell yeah, we did.
This week. So we want to give you guys a shout out, because you know how special and important you are. And I feel like we just really emphasized how important you guys are to us. It means so much to us to have this community with you. It's helped me so much in my personal life as well. So I want to shout out Maggie Noel and Samantha, just Samantha, like share.
Hell yeah.
Just like one name.
That's all we need.
So thank you so much, Maggie and Samantha, for joining our My Worst Date family on Patreon. We are so grateful to have you.
Yeah, and for all of you guys who are maybe on the fence, we are actually getting ready to make some changes up on Patreon. Those who have already joined will get to take advantage of the new stuff that's going up there. But we're thinking about if there's interest in giving those guys the episodes a day early without ads. So if you think that that would be something that you're interested in, tell us on Facebook. Let us know what you think.
And if you're a current patron, please reach out to us either on Patreon or through our email and let us know if that is something that you're interested in, or if you are a current patron, or if you're thinking about becoming a patron, let us know what it is you are interested in.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we are always brainstorming ideas for new things for Patreon.
Definitely.
So if you have an idea of something that you're like, oh, I'd really love to see this on Patreon, or I'm in another podcast Patreon that does this thing that I really like, let us know. Because
Yeah.
we're so open to suggestions on that.
Absolutely. Oh, well, business corner
No.
attended to.
No
And
doubt.
love corner.
Yes.
Business and love corner.
It's business.
We just stand all our fans. We're like,
It's a big love fest. Well, I'm drinking red wine, so I get kind of touchy
Uh-oh.
when I drink red
I think
wine.
I'm going to switch to wine after I finish this Bon and Viv spiked seltzer I've got going on right here.
Oh my gosh. Speaking of Bon and Viv, I don't know why this reminded me, but I'm reading a book. Another trashy novel. You know how
Hell
I do.
yeah. Yeah. Give me another
I mean,
rack.
I'm fucking not working. I might as well read trashy novels.
At least
What
you're
else am I
reading, you
doing?
know, like I would just be like watching
Candy
Maury
Crush.
all day. Yeah, like come on.
Lie detector determined that was a lie.
So I'm reading this new book, and I don't know if this happens to you, especially in like romance novels. Keegan, I know that you read some. Christina, I know you've read a couple.
Yeah.
So here's the thing for me. I love a good romance novel, but
Right.
what I can't stand is I don't mind suspending my disbelief on like things that I'm expected to in some things. For some reason though, in certain like romance novels, things that they expect you to suspend your disbelief on. For example, one of the things that happened in this book is they're like skinny dipping in the fucking Mediterranean. Well, they're not like touching the ground, and they're talking about like treading water and like fucking full on making out. And I'm like, okay.
Oh, hell no.
Okay.
Who has the stamina?
No one has that stamina.
No.
And you just drowned.
No.
I
No.
hope you're happy.
Oh my
'Cause you
God.
just
I
drowned.
would be angry. I'm like,
I
you
hate
are
this.
making me do
I hate
cardio
it.
while
I
we
hate
make
it.
out.
I was like, I'm not turned on right now.
No.
I'm turned off.
Yeah.
I'm angry, and I
All
can't
the
get my
way
head out of
off.
it. And okay, you want to hear the
Ew.
most snobby bullshit you've ever heard come out of my mouth?
Yes.
I'm saying it right now. Okay.
Do it.
So he calls her this kind of cute little French. He's French, by the way. So
Okay.
he calls her this cute little nickname. And he says to her, "Bon matin," which means good morning.
Right.
Okay, first of all, you're from Paris. You're supposed to be Parisian French.
Uh-huh.
You're not using bon matin. Nobody that is
I've
Quebecois
never-
all day. No,
I've
it's
never
not,
heard
'cause
that.
it's not
Yeah.
like a French term that's used. You would just say bonjour.
Yeah.
That's it.
And also, like,
I don't know, like that. I know. And I literally like had to reread like
And
a
you were
whole
like-
page after it again, just because I was like literally not reading post that point. I was just literally in my head like, that's not, you wouldn't say that.
I mean, first of all, yeah, that's lazy for the writer not to do just like
It's
a
typical,
teensy, like a
mean,
teensy
maybe.
bit of like research, or just leave it out. Maybe don't have
Yeah.
a French character if you don't know like how to write that. Okay, but then also like I don't know. I guess maybe I'm weird about nicknames, but I'm like, I don't want you to call me Good Morning.
Oh no, that isn't the nickname.
Oh, it's not.
No,
Oh, I like what? Why is he calling her that? I was like, I don't like that.
No, he says
That's a dumb name.
Malopin.
I'm like, ew. Is it just
so
because anything in French is you're like, okay, I'll take it.
Well, no, he calls her my rabbit. Like, yeah,
Oh,
yeah, Lupin.
Lupin.
That's sexual,
That's
I
kind
feel
of
like.
that's
Yeah.
kind of cute. I
Like
kind of
Bunny.
like that.
Bunny. Okay.
I
Yeah.
guess.
That just
I-
makes me think of the mom in Sex
No,
and
but
the
it's not
City,
Good
and I'm
Morning.
like, I don't like that.
I like pet names, but you can't force them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's
They
gotta be
come when they
natural.
come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anthony calls me Bubba, which
You don't like that?
no,
That's
I do.
cute.
I do. I like it. I like
Love
it.
that.
You're so not a Bubba, and
And
But
so
that's
cute.
what's funny about it is
Yeah.
like I like it, and I just responded to it second nature. I don't know how it happened, and then
does
like
call you
at,
Bubba, and
at
it's cute.
one point, like he said that around somebody else. Maybe it was my brother, and he was like, "Is he talking to you? Like Bubba, like Bubba Gump, like
oh, no.
big man
but
name,
it's almost
like
like
you know."
Aw,
a
it's
different
cute.
cute
It's kinda
way
like
to
calling
say
the
like
big guy Slim.
baby.
Yeah, it's
you know
like
what I
it's
mean?
like boo.
Bubba.
It's like yeah, it's
know.
it's sweet, but
Yeah.
it once that got in my head, I was like, oh,
I
that's what
used
other
I
to
people
call
call.
Chris Chrissy,
aw.
and he did not like that at first.
Really?
And then
I
I
think
forced
it's
it down his
cute.
throat.
Yeah.
And so
You're
Chris
like,
is
I'm not
Chrissy.
going to stop saying
Yeah.
it. So,
When I call him, it's Chrissy. Hey, Chrissy.
oh,
Yeah.
And then babe. Just like, did you ever watch Rachel Zoe?
Yes.
Oh my God, she was like babe.
Yes.
Beb. So I do that to him all the time. Beb. So Beb.
I called Handyman Puppy.
Yeah.
Oh, how'd that happen?
I don't know. He was just like, we were like playing around one time in bed or whatever, and he was just like nuzzling my neck. I was like, all right, puppy, or whatever, and then it just kind of stuck.
The
And that's
origin
what
of
kinda
nicknames is really
happened.
cute. Yeah, it's just like, I do feel like they just happen.
They just
on their
happen.
own. Yeah, that is kind of cute.
And he would call me Kitten.
Oh, that's cute.
I like
Yeah.
Kitten.
I like Kitten a
Kitten.
lot.
I'm gonna ask Chris to call me that from now on. Just
Force
pick
it.
my own nickname.
Force it.
I like it.
I like
This
it.
is what
It's mine now.
Right after we were like, you can't force
Kittens,
nicknames. You're like,
mine's
no,
now.
I'm gonna.
It's mine's now.
But yeah, you really can't. It just
No.
comes with time.
I think
can't
Chris
force
calls me
him.
babe too.
Mm-hmm.
think
Yeah,
that
he's
one-
like, hey babe. I can like hear
Oh,
it
yeah.
in my head.
Yeah, you're
hey,
right.
babe.
Babe.
And the way it like diphthongs.
Totally.
Hey
I think
babe.
you nailed it. Oh my god. Yeah, Chris. Yeah.
I want to hear your unusual nicknames, especially the people in the Facebook group who I know are listening right now. I want
you
you to
have
start a
nicknames from your
thread of
parents?
nicknames.
I had awesome. My dad used to call me Awesome Possum.
You want to know a mean nickname? I feel like I've said this on this podcast before.
Yeah, I don't like that one. I
Yeah,
don't
it
like
was
that
very
one.
mean of my dad.
Mophead?
My dad used to call me Mophead
I don't like that.
because of my hair. It was mean.
But he didn't mean it mean.
No, I mean, actually, my dad to this day, he, like, when I was little, he used to call me gorgeous. He would say, hey, gorgeous. So
Yeah.
he still does that sometimes.
That's sweet.
That is sweet.
He
When he's
doesn't
not
call
calling
you
me Mophead. He doesn't call me Mophead anymore. But
Good.
yeah.
Is he gonna walk you down the aisle and give you I give Mophead away?
I don't think I really had a nickname. My mom used to say this thing like every day when she'd drop us off at school. She'd go, smart and pretty. And we'd have to go, pretty and smart. back to her.
Oh, dear.
Oh my god. Are you in a sitcom?
That's exactly what I was thinking. I'm like, are you in a coming of age movie
What
in
in
the
Full House
80s?
happened?
Like-
Oh my god! Speaking of Full House, the fucking video with the mustache.
Nick Offerman
I
faces.
So there's a viral video that's been going on.
Yeah.
I've seen it in several groups I'm in where somebody did basically the face app.
Who did this?
But they took Nick Offerman's like Ron Swanson face and put it on everybody.
All
So
the
it's
characters
like
of Full House.
DJ, fucking all the uncles.
When the fucking
Aunt
neighbor
Becky.
comes in the door, she's like,
And it is the weirdest,
I can't stop
creepiest
laughing
thing.
at
So
it.
awkward.
It's so weird. But yeah. Oh my gosh.
By the way, you guys, you're listening to My Worst Date. I'm Cassie.
I'm Keegan.
I'm Christina.
Do we have a fuck, marry, kill for today?
Well, you were talking about Beverly Hills 90210
So
coming
here's the
back
thing.
at it.
It's a relaunch, kids. It's a
It's a
relaunch.
relaunch.
It's happening. I did watch the first episode, and
Your thoughts?
okay. So I watched it when I was younger. I have not watched it since I was a kid. Like I haven't watched it since it was actually an active show that was out on TV.
Right.
I have friends who've like rewatched. Actually, one of my friends that listens to the show, Gina, she is a huge, like how you like Friends. She likes 90210.
Oh shit! She just like puts it on
Yeah.
like every day.
She
That's
knows that shit.
awesome.
And she knows that shit inside and out. So
I do think that's awesome.
it is awesome.
That's
Like I'm
really dope.
I'm here for it. She dressed
Yeah.
up as Brenda for
I fucking love
yeah,
that.
it's the fucking coolest. She's the cutest. Anyway, so we were talking about it, and I totally texted her after I'd seen it, and I was like, they do like a whole like tribute like to Luke, and I was like, oh, it's very
my
cute. It's very
heart.
sweet.
Oh.
And so here's the thing: it's not an Emmy nom type show.
No, but
It's
like
not what you
it's not what
guys-
you watch it for.
not
yeah,
what you
it's
watch it
not.
for.
Yeah, exactly.
it's basically a soap opera for teens.
It's exactly what it is, and it is a it's an evening soap opera, and that's exactly what you can come to expect from it. The end. And was it enjoyable? It was okay. I didn't like lose
Well,
my shit on it. But am I
here's
going to
the
watch
thing.
next week's episode? Yep.
Sometimes you need a soapy show.
Yeah.
Like I have my serious shows.
Yep.
I have
This
my
is us.
documentaries.
Mhm.
I've got to like intersperse when we talk about like what we're watching at the end of the show. I will, go into it, but like I'll intersperse like a serious show and
Yeah.
like a less serious show. Sometimes you just need
That's how you do it with books too,
you need
right?
variety.
You read a little junk,
Yeah.
you read something
Yeah.
serious, and you come back to it, something heavy novel, then you do
Yeah.
like an autobiography, and then you go back
nothing
into
wrong
some
with a
cheesy
soapy
shit.
show or a
Yep.
cheesy show.
So that's exactly what it is, brain candy, right? So here's the thing I will say about the show. I always thought, well, Luke Perry was
Luke
just the most.
was
the most.
Even though he was
But-
clearly like 27.
But, right. Well, they all were. They all were.
they are,
Child
but he
labor laws.
legitimately.
Yeah, he had those
Well,
deep
but
lines.
but
of
I've
what's going
always
on.
been Andrea,
attractive.
like
Oh
she-
my
And
god,
she was actually 30. Yeah.
She's like, okay, like Mom, calm down. They do make
She
her
had,
a
like,
grandmother
thick
in the new
glasses.
show. Like, it's the fucking funniest
Yeah,
thing.
because honestly, I'm like looking at this cast and I was like, everyone looks the same age and yo.
And then Mom's there.
Mom's there.
Why is Mom going to school with us? So
Oh shit, you were so
here's-
right.
Here's the thing, you guys.
Bless her heart.
Brian Austin Green during the show, I was like, ugh, he's such a turd. He was like Danny of New Kids on the Block. Like, ugh.
He's
Right.
cute though.
Gross.
Yeah.
But
Glow up.
now I'm here for that glow up
Yeah,
because
he's cute.
He's
then and now he
got
held up.
He's got a pussy eating jaw.
What is that?
Well, okay. I want you to
You're
look.
like,
Sticks
that'll
out
keep
just
going.
far enough.
We're
Keep
all
going.
we're all looking.
Strong.
Okay, we're all looking at
you're looking
this
at this
photo.
thing.
So you're looking
Yeah,
at
it's hot.
these three
He's so
guys.
hot.
Look at the squareness of that jaw. That
does.
has enough muscles to keep your
Oh,
tongue
shit.
going. He's got a pussy eating jaw.
Oh shit.
Doesn't have any. Never mind. I'm not
So,
gonna say
okay.
that. I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say.
Here it is. I think we have to do. I'm going to take Luke out of it because honestly, let's be honest, we would marry him, all of us. But let's do the current cast.
Let's do current cast.
So
Okay.
it's Ian Ziering,
Yep.
who is the blonde.
Yep.
You have Brian Austin Green, the
Yep.
great glow up, and
Yep.
then Jason Priestley, who
Jason-
did not glow up.
But you know what? Well, I don't know. This
doesn't look
this
bad in this
This
picture.
picture I'm looking at is obviously photoshopped, but he looks good in this picture.
He's got
looks
face.
okay.
He's got face up. Oh, that photo looks better than this
Yeah,
one.
look at-
This one looks touched the
Well,
fuck up.
So does this one, but the beard looks good.
On the show, he looks
They
old.
This shit is
moved
face
him.
tuned.
He looked old.
Oh,
So I'll do
no.
mine first since I know the show, I guess, a little better.
Yes. Are we
Um,
doing the actors or the characters on the show? We
Well,
should
you
do
don't
the
know the-
actors.
I don't know the-
You
I
guys
don't
don't know the
characters,
characters,
yeah.
really. So
You need-
I'll go first.
Okay.
Ooh, okay. So I am going to fuck Jason Priestley.
Word.
Yeah, and I'm going to marry a Brian Austin Green.
Word.
And I
Yeah.
am going to kill Ian Ziering.
Yep.
Yeah.
I am gonna.
I was
do
never
the
here for Ian.
Exact same thing because
Also, it's real hard not to call him Ian because that's what you want it to
yes,
be.
Yeah.
and Ian. I'm like,
And that's part of the reason why you
it's
got
one
to
of
kill
those
him.
things that makes
Thank
me
you.
roll my eyes.
It's no.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like, don't make me pronounce it a different way. It's like that thing. It's like if it's spelled like Ian.
It's Ian.
He looks like he says it that way too. It's pronounced.
I'm sorry,
Ian.
it's
I'm
Ian.
sorry. It's
Yeah,
and I'm like,
yeah.
Ugh.
I'm just like, no.
God.
I don't like
The
that.
amount of
I
times
don't
I've
like that.
corrected
You're
people
gonna
on my name.
You're gonna mansplain your name to me. I don't like that. He's got this like 80s. We've talked about this before on our Patreon movie episodes. He has the 80s flesh colored blonde.
That's his natural hair, though.
I know, but I'm sorry. You can't help it. It's your hair. But also,
he's got that.
I don't dig it.
What's that dude's face? Ryan Seacrest, like zealot look in his eyes
Ooh,
too,
he
where I'm just
does.
like, there's something
Eyes?
He does.
too like, what's going on? Are you a lizard person like Ryan Seacrest is? Because literally, like,
Wow.
I'm not Illuminati or anything like
He's
that. But if
also-
someone was like,
You
Ryan
guys, if the
Seacrest
show
is
doesn't
a
come out
lizard,
next week, you know what
We
happened.
know what happened.
Ryan
Yeah, Ryan
Shut
Seacrest
it
has
down.
so much power in this
I
town.
know.
He
Maybe
will
cut
fuck
that
you
out.
up.
We love you, Ryan.
nobody said anything.
We say anything. It's cool.
But I do feel like Ian, I hate that. I feel like he's so forgettable too.
Yeah,
like
that's it.
I don't even remember that he was around. Like
Right.
the other guys outshone him like 1,000,000%. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like, yeah, I could do without you. I forgot you were there anyway.
Yeah. I gotta lock that jaw down.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, okay.
Definitely.
I mean, Megan
So-
Fox did, so.
Oh,
Do you,
shit.
you blame her? Yeah,
Nope.
exactly. She took one look at that jaw and she's like, ring.
That'll do pig.
You know what you're doing.
So yeah, we're gonna marry. We're all in agreement, I think. Marry, fuck, Jason Priestley, kill Ian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I
Ian.
think that's the answer right now. Because,
Yeah.
like, honestly, if it was Luke, we would all.
Yes.
Don't
There'd
marry
be some variation. I don't know. I'd probably still marry Brian Austin Green.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
God, I don't know what I would do.
He's got a
in that
little
case.
bit of that streak too of like bad boy.
Mhm.
I would
Mhm.
friend Jason Priestley if that was the case, because I would probably marry Luke, fuck Brian Austin Green, friend
Yeah.
Jason, kill Ian.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can get around that.
That sounds about what I would want to do too, I think.
No, I'd probably I'd fuck Luke. I'd
Yeah. Well, you're gonna
friend
fuck him all
Jason
the time.
Priestley.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, you're gonna marry Luke.
Yeah.
But you're
Oh,
gonna fuck Luke.
I'm gonna fuck Luke.
I'm going to marry him.
Was he a bad guy on the show? Who was like the bad boy.
Oh,
was there a
Luke
bad
was
boy?
Luke was the
Luke was the
quote
bad
unquote
boy,
bad
right?
Dylan, the
Like,
bad boy.
right.
Oh
I
my
feel
God,
like
and
I
named
saw
my
him in a
son
lot of.
Dylan.
I feel like I saw him in a lot of like white T-shirts with like the sleeves rolled up.
Yeah.
Like, did he have a
was-
pack of
he was
cigarettes
He
in there?
had that James Dean thing.
Yes,
Yes,
exactly.
They were
that
totally-
James Dean look
yeah.
in his eye.
They
a la
very
Taylor
much were
Swift.
going for that.
Okay,
With that badass car he had too.
nice.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh, that was a good one.
R.I.P.
Oh.
All right. Well, should we take 5 and then come back with stories?
Yes.
Sure.
And we're back. All right. Do you want to kick us off with some stories,
Yes.
Cassie?
Okay. So we got this from once again our worst date email through our website. Wow.
That thing
Yikes.
where people write in.
This is a good start, guys. I'm really nailing
Feeling
this.
confident.
Feeling strong, feeling confident. Here we go.
Must be
All
no.
right. I recently discovered your podcast and have binged my way through. It makes the nightmare of online dating much more bearable knowing I'm not alone.
Oh,
Here's-
cheers.
Yeah, right? Here is one of my worst 8 stories. I met this guy on one of the apps. I don't remember which one. We talked for a bit and decided to meet up for dinner and a movie. I have since learned not to do a movie on the first date.
Amen.
I do not want to have to sit next to your crusty ass for 3 hours.
No.
Oh my God, no.
We hope you learned that. Probably from this date. I was gonna say from us, but you probably learned that before this. All right, we decide on Italian for dinner, and he says Buca di Beppo. I'm not one to judge restaurant choices, but I live in Houston, which has many delicious, non-expensive Italian
Yeah,
restaurants.
listen, I'm not going to knock a Buca di Beppo. It has its time and place.
No. Sometimes, yeah.
But for a first date, take me to a hole in the wall
Do
Italian.
better.
Yeah.
Do better.
Yeah.
Do better. Try. So here's the thing. So, any of them, there's lots of restaurants that would have been a better suggestion, but I agreed to that choice. Well, I get there and get out of the car and meet him outside the restaurant, and he says he went inside and there's a 45-minute wait.
Oh,
And we
no.
had a
Oh,
movie
no.
we
I'm not
needed
doing
to
a
watch.
45-minute wait for a Buca di Beppo.
Okay,
I'm
so
sorry.
but here's the thing. Buca di Beppo is always that. Always. Always. Always.
You can make a
You didn't make a
reservation.
motherfucking reservation? Your choice
Sir,
was Buca
when you-
motherfucking di Beppo and you didn't know you had to make a reservation?
When you had a movie to go to.
Yeah.
Like, you are on a schedule, sir.
We've talked about this before. It drives me bananas. Like, it's really not that hard to like make plans. And honestly,
it takes you 5 minutes
the
to make a reservation.
tiniest bit of effort goes
Tiniest.
the longest way.
Ugh. Anyway, so of course they had a movie to catch. So that didn't work. I'm familiar with the area and there is a Thai restaurant nearby that is delicious. So I suggested that and he agrees. So we head over there. We sit down and I know what I want because I always want chicken pad thai. Same girl, same. Chicken pad thai. Always, always.
Pad CU for me. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just so good. What else do you get? You always get chicken. It's the fucking best. Unless you're allergic to peanuts, you always get chicken pad thai.
I get Pad CU personally. I like the thicker
Yeah?
noodle.
Okay.
But, I mean, Thai food is amazing. Can't go wrong.
Yeah. I mean, you're not going to be fucked up. He says he likes the noodles with peanut sauce. So I show him on the menu that there is a dish that's literally just noodles and peanut sauce. So he's like, yeah, oh yeah, that. So we order and our food gets there and he starts eating and just looks very disappointed with it. I offer him a bite of mine and he's like, oh, that's what I was thinking of.
This man is not about to eat your meal. I'm sorry, you fucked up. You fucked up, sir.
And looks at me
Joey,
expectantly.
No.
Looks at me expectantly. Look, I'm fine with sharing a bite of my food, but I am not about to share or trade you my dinner. You should know what pad thai is. It's like the most common fucking Thai food.
Yeah, it really is.
It
If you
is.
don't know Thai food, you know pad Thai.
Yes.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Exactly. If you even, yes, you know pad thai.
And also, like, don't do that to somebody. You made your bed. Especially on a fucking first date. I am not
I
going
fucking hate
to
that.
expect somebody to give me their plate.
Yeah.
Like, that's fucked up.
Get the fuck out of here. And don't look at me like that.
No.
Oh, yeah,
No, you
no,
can keep those puppy
dude.
eyes to yourself.
I am almost positive I've shared this story, but I do, I don't share food.
No,
Baby is
absolutely
7,
you
I don't,
don't.
I don't share shit.
Yeah.
I definitely don't fucking share food. I am not a sharer.
You keep your grubby
You
ass
get your
hands
goddamn hands.
off of my french fries.
Oh, there it is. It's the trigger.
Yeah.
I swear to you, the number of times that I would be like, and here's the thing, I work at a salon. I know I've told the story. I don't care. I'm telling it again. I work in a salon and I'd be like, I'm going to go run and grab lunch. I'm going to grab McDonald's. Does anybody want anything? Fries? Anything like that? Nobody wants any goddamn thing until I fucking return and sit down and you got your fucking fingers in my food. I will straight up slap it out of your fucking hand. I swear,
it's not cool.
Pisses me off.
Especially, oh my God,
You have to
McDonald's
ask,
fries
too. Like, you have to fucking ask.
the
Like,
fuck
if you
outta
asked
here.
me and I told you okay, then that's one thing. If I
asked
turn
you.
around and you have your fucking fingers
I'll
in
fucking
my
cut it off.
shit, like,
The fuck out of here.
you have scissors too. I mean, you are a stylist.
The fuck out of here.
Yeah,
I don't fuck around with that shit.
you shouldn't.
Dude.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, triggered. So I just ignore his look and keep eating. And eventually he goes back to eating his food. So we are small talking during dinner. What do you do for work? He's an engineer. What do you like to do for fun? How was your day, etc. So when I ask about his day, he talks about how he took a 4-hour nap and was still tired, and then continues to talk about how tired he is. Which is weird and a turnoff. Look, we're adults and we're all tired.
What?
Yeah.
But yes. Okay. But yes.
Fake it.
First of all, yeah, there's that meme that's just like being an adult is just telling each other how tired you are
Oh,
until
yeah.
you
Totally.
die.
Yeah.
I mean, and that is what it is. It's like
It's
everyone is tired all the time. But I also want to know, like, what do you? I am a napper. Like, I like to nap. Like on the weekends,
naps are the best.
Fantastic.
Those days where you get one, I'm just like, everything that I've done in my life, all of the choices that have led me to this moment, I am so grateful.
Yes.
And I just stretch and cat it up.
Yes,
on my
everything
couch.
in the universe is right.
Yes.
But when was the last time you had a fucking 4-hour nap?
I think it's called coma.
Yeah. I mean,
Honestly.
you
think
might as well
that's
just go to
bedtime.
bed at that point. Yeah. Like, there are some evenings
half
when I don't
asleep.
get that
Did you
much
set an
sleep.
alarm for this day? Anyway, so she's like, but fake it. Don't keep telling me how tired you are on the date unless you want to end it early, which
Yeah, it's
didn't happen.
super
He's
Fortnite.
gonna fall asleep in this fucking movie, isn't he?
So our
gonna do
check
it.
comes and I offer to pay for my part. I always offer. I don't expect someone to pay for me, but it's nice when a guy does. And he starts saying like, oh, you could get dinner and I'll get movie tickets. And just coming up with different ways to pay for the night's plans, all which end with me paying for dinner. So I say, I'll just pay for my dinner and my movie. So yes.
Yeah.
Yes, that
That's
all
the
day.
answer. Yeah, exactly.
So we get in our cars and drive over to the theater. I'm pulling into the garage and it's cash only garage, a whopping $3. I get a call. It's my date asking if I can pay for his garage parking. Look, I understand being frugal or if you have financial constraints.
It was his idea.
Student. Yeah.
It was his fucking idea.
Yeah,
I'm
there's
sorry.
so many cute, fun things you can do for free or on the cheap that like you don't have to make this awkward situation.
Or find street parking if it's that big a deal for you.
Well,
Go
and that's
find
what
somewhere
she
else to park.
says. She's like, so if you can't afford a dinner and a movie and can't pay at least for yourself. So I tell him I only have enough cash for me. He mutters out, oh, okay, fine. I have to go to the ATM then. Like, if I knew it was going to inconvenience him, then I would pay for him. Which, side note, there is free street parking around the theater as an alternative to the garage. I told him, okay, I'll meet you in the theater. So I go in, get my ticket.
Get my own motherfucking snacks.
That's damn
None
right.
for you. Get my own popcorn and
Butter-
Sour Patch Kids.
Buttered popcorn, just sitting
Sour
there.
Patch Kids, yeah. I get in the theater about 15 minutes before it starts. I text him where I'm sitting. So I'm sitting there just chilling and the time ticks away and he's not there. The previews start. I'm beginning to think, oh, maybe he's not coming. Oh, well, I wanted to see this movie, The Post.
I love her.
And I
Honestly,
know-
she's probably low-key being like, oh, I really hope he
God.
doesn't show up.
So I have no problem seeing a movie by myself. So I'm like, cool, whatever, and sit back and enjoy the movie. Previews finished, and about 5 minutes into the movie, he shows up with a beer. You couldn't pay for parking, show up late, and didn't even text saying, hey, I'm a few minutes out, or nothing. Just show up 5 minutes into the movie and proceed to try to talk to me. Bro, the movie has started. Oh my God.
So I'm so mad. No. Everything to do with that. Like,
No.
he's such
No,
a
shut the
boss.
fuck
I
up.
love her.
So I and go back to the movie. He downs his beer like a frat bro, asserting his dominance, and makes it about 30 minutes into the movie before he's asleep. He wakes up about 3/4 through the movie and asks if I knew he was asleep. I curtly say yes. I keep watching the movie.
Everyone in here knew you were
and
fucking
he's
asleep.
asleep again in like 3 minutes. He
You
wakes
know what?
up again
You know what I would
shortly
do?
before the end.
Well, you know what I would do at that point? Like the second time he falls asleep, what you should do, ladies, if this ever
Just
happens
move.
to you,
Get up and move.
get up and move.
Yes.
Get up quietly
Yes.
and then like move into the corner so you don't have to miss the movie.
Yeah.
But then he'll wake up and be confused and you can sneak out after the movie.
Yep.
Okay.
There you go.
Like then you can get rid of him. And if he calls you later and he's like, "What the fuck?" you can be like, "I'm sorry, you were disrespectful and you fell asleep on our date, so I left."
Yeah.
That's all you gotta say.
So just like
Yeah.
legitimately ghost him.
You ghost him
IRL.
in front of him
Yeah.
in the same
In
theater.
real life.
Yes.
I like it. I like this. I thought the same thing. I'm not gonna lie.
Get up. Yeah.
The movie ends and we get up to leave. At this point, it's like 10 p.m. I'm tired because I didn't have a 4-hour nap that day. And was conscious. For
This
the movie.
man had like a 6-hour nap.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
at that
4
rate.
hours and then
Yeah.
2 hours during the movie.
Well, does this guy have a condition? Is he narcoleptic? Like, what's going on?
And annoyed at his whole demeanor, he proceeds to keep asking me if I had a good date and how I thought it went. I don't want to be rude, but I also had a terrible date. So I mumbled something non-specific, but didn't give a real answer, and then said goodnight and headed to my car. I get home and have a text from him that's like, "It was great meeting you. I had a fun time. What did you think? We should do it again." Motherfucker, you slept through over half the date.
It's a no. It's a hard
So
no.
I just ignore his text. The next morning, I wake up at 7:30 a.m. This was a Saturday, and have 2 missed phone calls and 6 texts from him.
Oh, that's why he sleeps all day.
All-
Motherfucker's up all night.
Right? All before 7 a.m. asking how I thought the date went. I feel incredibly guilty
Red
if
flag,
I ghost
red
someone
flag.
or I'm rude to someone. So I responded that I didn't feel the connection and it wasn't going to work out. He responds, "Yeah, same." What? Really, bro? Same. Really? I thought dinner was good, but couldn't get a read after the movie.
You know what? Just one time, I want us to record, like, video record us
Our
recording
faces?
this podcast.
I
Because,
know.
like, the
My
faces
face.
that we make, that is insane. Like,
I know.
that is some bullshit. I'd
That's
be furious.
ridiculous.
Yeah, so she says, I proceeded to never speak to the oblivious jerk again. Anyway,
Yeah,
that's
good.
a terrible
Good,
date.
good.
Thanks for your podcast.
Wow. Amazing.
Yikes.
I love it.
Oh, I hate that when they're like, "Oh yeah, me too. The same."
yeah.
It's
No,
like,
no,
"Oh,
same.
that's why you were fucking so thirsty on my fucking phone
You blew my
before
shit up
7:30
All
a.m."
night.
All right, mine also came in through our website, myworstatepodcast.com. And she says, "Hey guys, love your podcast. You guys are amazing. I never miss a week. Ooh, hey. This podcast is the most relatable thing I've ever heard. I randomly brought it up while I was visiting family. My 4 siblings and I were going through a tough family time when I forced us to listen to an episode, and it brightened our whole day and even had us sharing our own worst date stories.
I'm gonna cry.
Oh my God,
That's so
I love
sweet.
it. So I wanted to share mine with you too. I went out with this guy just a few months ago. I had very briefly met him at a party my friend C was having. His name was M. He had to leave just around the time I was arriving, but there were a group of us hanging out in the kitchen. He didn't say more than 2 words to me before he left. A few days later, C said she was with her boyfriend, and M was talking about how pretty I was and asked C if she would give him my phone number. He was cute and he was really good friends with her boyfriend, so I agreed to it. That's kind of like the story we shared a few weeks ago, where it's like, if you know people that know him, it's like,
it's like
makes
adjacent.
Makes it
yeah,
sense.
Yeah,
exactly. Because you're like, oh, I'm friends with them, so you must not be a complete shithead.
And you know what? We were having this conversation at work about roommates, and I feel like it's kind of the same thing where it almost makes it better. Like, you don't have that fear of like dating a friend where you're like, oh, it could ruin a friendship, but it's not a total stranger.
Right.
So you
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
like kind of you're in the safe zone.
Adjacent,
Yeah. By proxy.
Exactly.
You're in the aura
yeah.
of the friend group.
Yeah. The atmosphere.
Yes. We texted for a few days and we had such great chemistry. We agreed to meet up at a bar that we both liked to have a drink, so I met him there. I was so confident about this date that I didn't even make a backup plan to meet up with friends after.
But this is called my worst date. So we know where this is going.
Exactly.
This
I'm
is
like,
bad.
mistake. Always have your exit planned. You know, I almost feel like a flight attendant sometimes when I'm on a date. I'm like, okay, you're going to want to go. I'm like, always have your exit plan. And you can use those seats as a
Flotation devices.
device. Right. So there you go.
Yeah, always take care of yourself before assisting anyone next to you. Yes.
He got there first and he got us a table and ordered my favorite drink, which was a great sign. Ladies, I'm going to go out on a limb here.
Okay.
SSDGM.
Yep.
Do
Don't drink
not
my drink.
You are right.
let a stranger buy you a drink.
You are
Watch
absolutely
the
right.
bartender make your drink. I don't want to put that out there to assume the worst in people, but honestly do.
You know what? I was watching Ozark, and in like one of the first episodes of that show, there's like she's supposed to be like 15 or whatever, but like she's like hanging out with a guy on a boat. It felt very Missouri. And she like goes to the bathroom and she comes back out and he like opened her up a new beer and tries to like give it to her. Mm-hmm. And he's like, you want a new beer? And she's like, I'll take yours. And like took his. And I'm like, actually, that's so fucking smart. And I never at like 15 or 16 would have ever done that.
I never would have thought
like,
of that either. But we have to. You have to stay fucking safe. So honestly, like, it's cute that he thought about it, and chances
I would have been charmed.
Chances are it was probably fine, but you never fucking know. So be safe. So she says that's where the good things about him ended. Our chemistry over texting was amazing, but in person it was dead. He was hands down the most boring person I had ever spoken to. Not only was he talking at me, he was over explaining every single thing he said and then saying, do you understand?
Oh my God, are you a kindergarten teacher? Get the fuck out
in
of here.
In a condescending tone, no matter how simple the subject was.
This episode is triggering me so hard. Like all of this stuff. I'm
I don't like that.
Oh.
I find myself, I honestly, shame receipt here. I find myself saying, does that make sense? Sometimes
we
to
talked
people.
about that on this show.
That's
though.
my
we
thing.
We did talk
And
about that
because we talked about that because that is my pet peeve when I teach, when I'm do education, and I'm like, it's my pet peeve too. Like I hate when I'm in a class and someone's like, does that make sense? Yeah, bitch, I understand English. Like I understand the words you're coming out of your mouth. Like I get it.
I do that, and it's so terrible.
I feel
try
like
to
I do
break
that too. I feel like I do that
myself.
too. More than anything, though, I know we've talked about this on this podcast before, but like more than anything, like for me, it's like it's it's me being like like every time it's like they probably do know. They understand.
Yeah,
they know what you're saying.
Yeah, the maple kind.
The maple kind. Obviously, I was not really into it. So when he asked if I wanted to move to a second bar, I said I had to get home early. I tried to shake him by walking to my car, but he kept insisting he walk me there.
I'm good.
When we got to my car, I acted like I locked my keys inside. I have my sister's spare keys. She locked her keys in her car a week before this. I had to take her keys, and when I took them back, I just put them in the passenger seat. Was too lazy to move them. So she had keys that were already on her passenger seat.
She's just trying to get him to go away.
Go away, please.
Oh,
like,
no, he's
no
gonna
means
stay
no.
in hell.
No, now he wants to
totally.
stay and like be with
He's
you
gonna be knight
while
in shining
AAA
armor.
shows up.
Yuck.
Yep.
The fuck out.
This
white knighting you.
saved me because I acted like those were mine and that I couldn't get to them, so I had to call my sister to pick me up and bring me my keys. He kept insisting that he drive me home and would not take no for an answer.
Well, you will, sir.
That's so fucking creepy.
Not take no for an answer bullshit.
Yeah.
You
that's
will
so
take no
creepy.
for a fucking answer because that is the answer.
Yeah.
Ugh.
He pushed so hard for him to take me home and was getting super pushy, but I told him I already asked her to come. My sister was out of town, so I called an Uber and texted her saying, I know this is weird. Please pretend you know me and that you're not my Uber driver. I told this guy that my sister was picking me up. This girl was amazing.
Oh my God, I love this so much. I'm so happy right now.
She pulled up and I waved to her and she says, hey girl, get in. I'm starving. I jumped in her car, told her what happened, and we actually did go grab food together and we are actually still friends.
No. No.
That's freaking amazing. I've heard that before.
She says it's not the worst date story
That's
in the
the
world,
best
but it
escape
combines a bad date with an awesome friendship, though. So I thought it would fit right in.
Amazing. Oh my God.
Girl.
We had somebody put something in our Facebook group about an Uber driver where it was like similar. It was like a guy who was like harassing her on a date, and she messaged a male Uber driver and was like, "Can you pretend to be my boyfriend?"
Oh, amazing.
And it was like a similar thing. And that's what he said. He was like, if you feel like you're in a dangerous situation and you call an Uber, like do that, like, because they'll help you out.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. No, I've had some dope ass fucking Lyft drivers, and so that's just like
awesome.
made me so happy that he's like, no, like let me drive you home
fucking
or whatever.
hate that shit.
I'm
Like, listen,
no, sir, you're fine.
and also listen, if a woman is being that insistent that they're fine, leave, because it's unless she's like super inebriated or whatever, you feel fear for her safety or something like that. But otherwise, like, leave, because she's probably trying to get rid of you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She's not feeling it. She doesn't want to hang out with you
Take a
anymore.
hint,
That's
bro.
what's happening right now. Okay. So
people,
leave her alone.
here's the thing, you guys. People rarely don't say what they don't mean. You know what I mean?
Right. People don't
It's
do
not-
what they
it's
don't
not
want to
veiled.
do.
Which
It's
is
not
why
a veiled thing. Like, oh no, I really mean I do want to go.
Which
And
is why not most adult women, like maybe when I was like fucking 14 or whatever, but
No.
like that's why I put the caveat of being like, if someone's super fucking drunk, sometimes they'll do that. They're like, I'm fine. And like, they're definitely not fine. And
Right.
like, so use your better judgment in that
Right.
situation. But like, otherwise,
you're not fine.
if a grown ass woman is being like, no, thank you, I've got it. Like, she's got it.
Yeah.
Leave her alone.
Exactly.
Okay, guys. Are you ready?
I'm so ready.
I'm so happy.
First of all, you told us not to read a specific
Yes,
Facebook
I
post
did.
for
So-
like a day and a half, and I'm
trying to avoid it like the plague.
We
Exactly.
got
So every time she posts something, I'm like, I can't read it.
I can't read it.
That's it.
which is a lot too. She posts on her Facebook group a
I
lot.
fucking
Hey, girl.
love her, love her.
But so this was in our Facebook group, and like I said, I asked for like things
You
stuck
asked for
in
it.
orifices stories. I have
Everything.
no regrets about this situation. I'm
No
so
regrets.
happy that I did this, and she delivered. Okay, so here we go.
Oh my god!
It
All
starts
of our
out.
men
It starts
listeners
out
are
with.
just gone.
It starts
We
out
have
with a
no more male listeners.
hand clapping emoji, which is just the
Oh,
best.
shit.
And it says, "Hey, okay, gather round, kids, for this tale of a fishing story."
Oh shit!
So this isn't.
already
It's not a date, but I don't care.
Oh no!
A long time ago, in the grips of passion, my boyfriend pulls out and panics because the condom is missing. Him, uh-oh. Me, the fuck you mean, uh-oh. Him, it's gone.
Magnum.
I promise it was there a second ago, but hold on, I'll find it. Fishing, fishing, fishing. Me, dude, quit playing. Are you serious? Move, let me try. Now I'm fishing with my tiny hands, so I'm not having much luck. And I'm angry, accusing him of hiding it somewhere else. He's still panicking, sweating, and swearing up and down of no foul play. I go to the bathroom. I'm squatting and fishing. I prop one leg on the toilet and
Yep.
fishing.
Yeah,
I can't believe this is my life at the moment in
my God.
fishing. He eventually knocks on the door to offer a hand. So I got one leg propped and he's fishing.
It's like a goddamn surgery.
He said he
Girl,
searched
I
the
feel
whole
you.
bed and sheets, and it has to be in me. Now I'm just embarrassed.
And I'm just crying. I'm crying right now.
Oh, I
'Cause
know.
I'm sweating. I'm crying.
Honestly,
I don't
okay,
wanna go to the
okay,
hospital.
Okay, here's the other thing. I'm so sorry. Like, I'm tall, and I feel like I might, out of the three of us, have the biggest vagina.
Oh my God! Get the fuck.
But no, honestly,
I don't know if that's how
honestly, I'm
anatomy
like,
works.
I don't think
but-
that works.
I don't think that's how it works either.
Also,
I'm not a scientist.
Yeah, this is not how this works.
Let me call Alcoholic Pete and ask him.
He'll pour some water in some beakers and give you the answer.
Exactly.
After
But I'm
12
like-
years of study, we have found.
But I'm like, I can reach all the crevices on the inside of my vagina. There's not going to be. I'm not going to.
I think you just have longer fingers.
Oh, I do. I have piano
See,
playing
I
hands
don't.
for sure.
She
But
did
I'm like-
specify that she has tiny hands. So
She
she feels
did.
like she can't get in there.
But even if he's up in there too, I'm like, dude,
Maybe he's got Donald
It-
Trump hands.
little
baby hands.
T-Rex hands.
Baby hands. But honestly, like you're not finding things up in there. You're not finding cash and meth that you didn't know was up in there. You're not finding like things in corners.
She is practically telling a story that I've lived, so I know what's happening here, and I feel this.
Oh my
so
God.
hard.
She said-
I'm like, is it in a goddamn fallopian tube?
What
Because
happened?
Can't do that.
Listen.
I know.
Some of the stories
that's not how this works.
we have gotten are so
It's in my
scary.
uterus.
Are so scary. Like we got one today that was talking about how a doctor, she'd had like uterus surgery and a doctor left cotton balls up there.
No.
And I was like, what?
No.
What?
No, what about the one with the tampon that was in there so
it
long and
grew-
it grew around it?
Oh my God.
I
so
was
grossed
like-
out.
Was that on our page?
Yes, it was on our
Yes.
page. It
Yes,
was on our
I was
page.
like,
Mhm.
that is
Months.
banana sandwich. That is like some fucking. That is
sucks.
I'm
Like, so nervous. I'm gonna go to
the
the doctor
upside
right now.
down world or something. It's so fucking crazy.
My uterus hurts right now. Like I'm like, oh no.
You're like, every time I have cramps now, I'm gonna be like,
Yeah.
So, and what do you do? Like, how do you salvage like a romantic experience if you're in the bathroom
don't.
with one leg up? It's like you're
No.
not going
No,
back
but
to
I'll tell you
sexy
right now,
town.
you've
like,
lived
you
through
better
something
go
together.
get me some
It's like
fucking
going
chicken
through-
fingers.
You went
or
through
something.
a war together. You're like legs up.
Yeah,
and
you have a
he's
shared
digging.
experience.
You have a shared
now.
experience. This is like
You have
that dude
shared
with the
trauma.
that was outside with the fucking the neighbor. Yes.
What?
The fucking the butt plug.
Oh yes, exactly.
Yes.
You know, I honestly, I think
Yeah.
it. So we told that story about the butt plug,
Oh,
you know,
man.
and him having to find that. And I honestly feel like it could strengthen a relationship.
Yeah.
Really, like
Yeah.
I'm like, you guys
You
have
guys-
been
are you-
through life.
Wait,
now.
are they married now?
I don't know. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I'm so sorry. Let's get back to the story. So she says, now I'm just embarrassed, feeling like my vagina is a great abyss.
Girl, you're preaching to me. Oh my god, thank you.
Eventually, we give up. I convince myself that maybe I ate it. Maybe he's lying. I never used one. I ate it. It's gone. Fuck it. It's with the Lord now.
It's not. It's not. Get it out. I'm gonna have to go to the emergency room. That was. Oh no.
She says,
Go with God. Go with God.
I don't know where it is. Fuck it. It's gone. She says, I just can't spend another minute searching.
Oh no.
This is hilarious.
No.
The next day, I had belly dance class. The instructor had us doing 10-minute long himmy ship drills. Hip shimmies are where you knock your knees back and forth, causing your hips to shake rapidly while we spell out the alphabet on the floor and our names and figure eights, etc. By the time it's over, would you guess what slipped
Nope.
out? Finally, praise be. And that, my friends, is how you find a lost condom. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Oh my God. Standing fucking ovation.
God. Oh my god.
Can you imagine dancing and you're like in a skirt and it's just like,
Nope.
and the sound it makes when it hits the floor.
And you have to subtly be like, just
It's
like
like
that.
just put your
Long
foot.
skirt,
You just
long
put your
skirt,
foot
long
on it.
skirt.
You just like,
Oh, and then you
and then
slip.
slip. You're just
like a banana peel. You're just like, what?
What flew across the room? Nothing. What's that?
Oh my God. Oh, see, and gentlemen, that is why we wear condoms that fit.
yes,
Y'all,
Oh
listen.
my God, I'm so hot right now.
Oh my God. I just fucking love that. And she's like, it's
God.
gone. It's with the Lord now.
it's with the Lord.
Oh my
Also,
God.
but that is bold of her to just be like, I don't know. I guess it's fine.
No,
I would be
that
so
wasn't
paranoid.
Me, I was like, get it out. I'm gonna have to go to the emergency
You're
room.
like, get one of those tiny flashlights and get up in there. Like,
Oh, Lord.
God.
oh, Jesus. All right. Cassie.
I'm gonna have to go get more wine.
Oh, all right.
Yes,
Wine
we're
break.
good.
Dun, 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 dun. Are y'all ready for this? Because I got a story to share.
Yes.
I'm excited.
So, don't know how to start this without just telling you I'm doing Bonnie and motherfucking Clyde.
Oh shit!
Well done, friends.
Well done indeed.
So,
I feel like
want
red
to
wine
start-
is appropriate for this.
I know. I feel like snapping.
Okay.
Well
So,
done.
first and foremost, I want to preface the story by saying that I really knew nothing about them except for their glorified love affair and crime spree. And it also made me very uninterested in reading or actually finding anything out about them. I thought that there is this idea, this glorified nature of this story.
Glamorization.
Like glamorization, exactly, of,
All I think
Bonnie
of
and Clyde.
is that
Warren
movie
Beatty.
with
Yeah.
Faye Dunaway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the number of times that people have dressed, I mean, I've thought about dressing up as Bonnie and Clyde for Halloween.
It's a good, fairly easy Halloween
Yeah.
couples costume, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that there was part of me that never really dove into the story, but I've heard tons of rumors, tons of stories.
Yeah.
So I'm interested if, like you guys, what were some of the things that you had heard or have heard, or what is the kind of like information that you know about
same
them?
as you. I've never been interested in it. It just has never been something that I've like looked into, or I know nothing about it except like they died in a shootout.
Yeah.
I feel like there is such a thing as being like oversaturated with something. And I feel like Bonnie and Clyde was that. And I
Yeah.
wonder if like other generations feel that way about like the Mansons or like whatever, where it's just like you've been exposed to this idea. Bonnie
whole
and
life.
Clyde was basically like a pop culture thing that you would say
It was almost a
anytime you were
mythos.
referring to like a couple that was like doing
Crime
anything.
couple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like a Bonnie and Clyde. And so, I mean, I think I probably watched like a biography,
Yeah.
like on the History Channel, like
Sure.
Bonnie and Clyde special at one point.
Right.
Yeah.
But I've seen the movie.
I've
Yeah.
And
never
I've seen the
movie.
made for TV movie.
I've never seen the movie.
But if you like old movies, you'd probably like it.
yeah,
But,
I mean, I'm interested now. I'm glad I read the story first because I'm interested to see how they portray it.
Yeah.
Some of the mythos around it that I had heard was that Bonnie was like, you know, this gunslinging gal who like attracted Clyde, and she was really the one in charge, and he was kind of like this kind of whatever guy, and
I feel
he
like
may have been
people
gay and all this other stuff. I
push
mean, like a
that narrative.
bazillion fucking like
Yeah.
stories about this that I was just like, okay, like I don't know enough about it to like, this is not one of those conversations at a party where I debate you on it because I literally know nothing.
Yeah.
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 However, so it was really fucking interesting to do some deep dive
I'm
and
so
actually
excited.
find out
Me
like
too.
the legitimate like story behind Bonnie and Clyde.
Learn us.
All right.
Yes.
So their love story, if you will, was really truly a 2-year crime spree, leaving 14 dead,
Jesus.
multiple thefts and robberies in across 11 states. So this is the story of Bonnie and Clyde. I got a lot of this information from BBC, The Real Bonnie and Clyde.
I fucking love BBC.
Love BBC.
Amazing.
And I actually did some alternative digging through, of course, Wikipedia. So those are my two main sources for the information that I got for this. Bonnie Elizabeth Parker, she was the middle of 3 children. She was born in 1910 in Rowena, Texas. She moved to Cement City at the age of 4. Cement
City. God, that feels drab.
Well,
That
it
feels
is.
real
It is
depressed.
one of the
Really?
poorest. On the BBC show, the guy who was talking about it said it was like one of the poorest slums in all of the United States.
It sounds like a Lemony Snicket, like city. You know what I mean? Like that's something that's in like a series
fake.
of unfortunate events that those orphans end up in one book.
Cement
and it is
City.
Cement City is
Yeah.
a series of unfortunate events. So at age 4, after her father's death, they moved there. Her sophomore year of high school, she meets Roy Thornton. They drop out of high school and marry just days before her 16th birthday in 1926.
That's too young.
Yeah. They never
do that.
divorced, but they became estranged, and they never crossed paths again after 1929. Basically, even after, like, it's funny because there was a little note that I read after this, and they were like saying that when he was interviewed, because he was in jail at the time, when he was interviewed about the Bonnie and Clyde having been killed, he was like, I'm glad they went out that way and didn't get caught. Basically, he's like, I'm glad that's how they did it. Like, he was like kudosing them, basically. I was like, okay, cool.
No doubt.
So
I mean, but they killed like 14 people, so
in 1929, she ends up moving back in with her mother and started working as a waitress in Dallas.
where was Cement City? Sorry.
I'm sorry. Cement City is it's basically like a suburb west of Dallas.
It's in Texas.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, Dallas, Texas. Yeah. So it's kind of like a outskirts. Yeah. Clyde, Chestnut, Barrow.
Ooh.
Oh, I
What a
can't
name.
let Chestnut as a middle name slide.
Nope.
No.
Wow.
Which is why I put it in there. 'Cause I'm like, you're gonna like that one. Clyde Chestnut Barrow was born in 1909 in Ellis County, Texas. This is southeast of Dallas. He's number 5 of 7 children. Let me just tell you, Ellis County, Texas is like kind of out in the country a little bit, right?
Yeah.
They finally decide to settle in the city. The family moves into West Dallas in the 1920s. The family lived their first months under their wagon until they could afford a tent.
I'm sorry, you got 5 kids, you're living under a wagon?
Hey, it's like depression times.
So
Or
exactly.
just about
Just
close
about
there.
Well, it should be before depression,
So this
right?
is 1920s,
Oh.
right?
Yeah.
So this is 1920s.
And it's in the middle of BFE, Texas.
Mhm.
you
And
know?
they're and this is kind of during too, like this is when people are starting to flee out of the rural areas into the cities because
Find work.
to find
They're
work,
trying to find
to figure anything out, because this is also, right before the Dust Bowl, all that stuff. So
Can you imagine, like, I don't know,
Like,
all of us have to feel like we have to have our shit so together to have kids that, like,
Yeah.
I can't imagine being
7
like,
kids under a wagon.
I'm like, it's fine. Like,
this is fine.
Dude, when I went back and did my family tree, literally like not that long ago, there were like 13 kids that one of my ancestors had. They named 3 girls Patience because the first 2 didn't make it.
because you got to have a lot of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, they were really wanted
That's
a
so
girl
patient.
named Patience.
That's
Well,
fair.
I mean,
That's
literally,
be patient.
literally, my grandma, my mom's mom, whose name is Bonnie, by the way, my mom's mom, she grew up in rural New Mexico, and they lived in a 2-room shack.
Yeah.
Like, it was her and her
Yeah.
siblings, and the chickens were inside.
Dude.
So it was like, and they didn't have shoes. They had an outhouse in the 1940s.
Yeah.
Like, it is
Yeah.
so
My dad-
bananas. Like,
My dad would tell me stories about growing up in Youngstown, Ohio, and he said, well, that was back when they would like hitchhike and shit, and like even when he was younger. But Youngstown was like a mafia town back in
Yeah,
the day. I mean,
totally
the
was.
stories that he would tell about like fucking bullet holes inside the house and some of these famous mobsters and shit. Like, he's got stories. He was born in 1939. He said they were so fucking poor. He said there were some days that like when he was like a teenager, he'd go to the cafe, and he'd get like a diner, get a cup of coffee for 5 cents and get paper napkins and dip them in the coffee to make them soft and eat the napkins just so he wasn't starving. Is that
Wow.
fucking
isn't that
wild?
insane? It's insane.
We don't understand. We have
No,
no
we have no
knowledge.
conception of like, and then like
We
my
don't know
great
this.
grandparents
We don't
grew
struggle.
up during the Depression.
Yeah.
And like my great grandma, I've got a picture of my great grandma, my grandma's mom, who like everyone talks about this picture because it was when she was finally like they were able to get her shoes. It was like they didn't have shoes up until like a certain age, and then like when they went into like middle school or high school or
Yeah.
whatever, is like when they bought them their first like pair of shoes.
Wow.
Oh,
You know what I
wow.
mean? Isn't that
Yeah.
insane?
Dude.
It's like something that we can't even
My
comprehend.
dad said he wouldn't have had clothes to wear at all if it wasn't for Charity Newsies. He's that's still one of the only charities he will give money to, because Charity Newsies were the people who actually put clothes on
That
his
is
body.
so crazy.
Isn't that fucking wild?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Dude, we don't know. We don't know shit about shit.
Yeah,
No,
we
we
might
don't.
feel like we're poor, but we're not sleep under a wagon poor.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, we're talking the 20s. In 1929, that's when the stock market crashed, followed, of course, by the Dust Bowl. This put people, I mean, this is throwing the world into a Great Depression.
Yeah.
At the same time, this is triggering the beginning of this big crime wave that is happening.
I fucking bet, especially when you could get away with like
Well,
get away with
everybody's
robbing a
fucking-
bank, just being like,
Yeah.
Bonnie and Clyde were here, bye. You know, and like
yeah,
it was
they got
fine.
jazz hands.
Right. Well, and some of the things that they were talking about too is, and we'll talk about it later too when we talk about the weaponry and things that they were able to acquire. Like these people, like the sheriffs, these police forces are basically like using their own cars, had to pay for their own guns. I mean,
Yeah.
and we're talking depression. I mean, these people can't afford shit for shit.
Yeah, and you're talking about like people like Al Capone who had Tommy guns and
Right.
shit, which are just like unfucking stoppable.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Exactly. So, back to Clyde Barrow, his first arrest was at 17 when he ran from police who were pursuing him over a rental car that had not been returned. His second arrest was with his brother Buck over stolen turkeys.
Buck Barrow stole some turkeys.
Buck Barrow and
Clyde Chestnut.
Clyde Chestnut Barrow stole some turkeys.
They like their alliteration in that family.
Yeah. So in 1930, this is when Parker, Bonnie Parker meets Clyde Barrow. They meet through a mutual friend in January 1930. They had said January 5th, 1930. There was like kind of a
the date wasn't quite exact.
Exactly.
They're not totally sure, but
based off of the story that has been passed down. So, I mean, like, this is an unverified is what I'm trying to say. Unverified date, but they said January 5th, 1930. They said they had a fast romance cut short by Clyde's arrest for auto theft. So this was Clyde getting caught again and going back to jail. So they had met. It was like 6 months later that he was back in like jail again. Bonnie
really likes fucking with them cars, doesn't he?
Yeah. He likes cars. And he likes money. So he ends up being arrested. He ended up going to jail and ends up being put in prison, and he's released in February 1932. He and the Barrow gang. So this is like the thing. So everything I've ever heard is like Bonnie is kind of like this ringleader. She's kind of a crazy gal. She's, boom, shooting people up kind of gal. It's just not really the case. It really starts from Barrow. Barrow had kind of his own gang of people who were like, going out and doing these crimes. So what happened was
And they were like, yeah, see, I'm the Barrow gang. See,
I'm part of the Barrow gang. They started a series of robberies. He'd gone to this prison, and it is called, I'm going back to find it. Oh, Eastham Prison. It's a prison farm. On this prison farm, he is purported to
prison farm. I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
It's a no bueno. There's nothing good happens here. So they talk about his experiences at this farm and all the shit that goes wrong. Like it is like fucking hell on earth, basically. And he is getting sexually assaulted by this guy named Ed Crawler in prison. And in October 1931, he fucking kills Ed Crawler. And like, from what I've heard, hits him over the head with a fucking steel pipe. There's another guy who goes kind of in on this with him and already has a life sentence. And this prisoner is who takes the blame for this.
Ooh.
So
nice.
Very shortly after that, the only way, like, people will do anything to get the fuck out of this place, to the point where he fucking cuts off 2 toes just so he can go to this other prison, I think in Grapevine, where he can get out of this place.
Yeah, the
First
forced
of all,
labor.
our prison systems are bullshit in this country. Secondly, I was literally just listening to the newest episode of Criminal. Have you listened to that, Christina?
No, not yet. No, I haven't had a chance.
It's basically talking about how they use like African American like prison labor to build the railroads in North Carolina, and how fucking awful it was that people would just be like, they knew that they would shoot you and kill you if you tried to escape, so they would just decide. Like, there was a story about like
I just want to die.
2 brothers who like looked at each other and they were like, you ready? And then they just like put down their shovels and walked away together and to die, because they were like, it's better than like
doing this.
Well, John Oliver's episode this past Sunday was on prison labor.
It's unbelievable.
It hasn't improved.
No.
So if we think it's any better,
go watch 13th.
Yeah, exactly. It's still like slavery, pretty much.
Yeah, it's awful.
It's fucking wild. This is such a fucking wild story. Like, honestly, when they talk about it, I'm just like, the real crime spree begins when he gets out of prison.
Yeah.
So he gets out of prison, like I said, on February 1932. And when he's released from prison, his only fucking goal from this point forward is to basically stage like a fucking mass, like do as many robberies and like do as much crime as he can, do as much robberies, get as much money, get as much guns and artillery as he possibly can, so that he can, with the intent basically to raid against the Eastham prison.
I mean,
and we gotta stop saying that our prison system is about rehabilitation.
It's 100%
100%.
No, not in this country.
It's
no,
not
it's
about
not
it
at all. At all.
It makes sense. Like, it's a trauma what you're put through, the amount of PTSD and all that stuff. You're not preparing these people for being released and to be members of society.
Well, we need
so what
to
the fuck do you expect?
We need to put an end to for-profit prisons, because I guarantee that, like this, if you're talking it's a farming prison, then it's a for-profit prison.
Yeah.
They were renting out prisoners to do work for them to make money. Like, that's what they were doing. And like, you can't rehabilitate somebody under those circumstances.
No, you don't want to.
No, why would you?
Why would you?
You make more money the more people that you have in prison. And like,
fucking wild.
I'm not justifying at all like what Bonnie and Clyde did, because
no, exactly.
14
And
fucking
here's what I want to make sure that
died.
we understand is
Right.
that we are not glorifying the situation.
14 people died, but also like, I do think it's important for people to understand, like, this sort of situation doesn't happen in a vacuum. Like, people don't decide to like do this kind of thing. You know, there's a bunch of circumstances here that like cause this situation.
So you can understand it, so we can make changes, and this kind of thing doesn't
Still
happen
wrong.
again.
Don't fucking go shoot 14 people and rob a bunch of banks. Like, don't do that. But
this isn't the answer. Maybe get a law degree.
Yeah, maybe
work
challenge the
extra hard at
system. Yeah, challenge the system. People have done it before.
I feel like if you could just put as much effort as you did in this into doing that,
Right?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
I don't know. Huh?
Yeah.
Maybe. So again, he gets out in February 1932. We talked about that, and again, sole purpose is to get back at this fucking prison camp, this prison like fucking farm. April 19th of the same year, Bonnie Parker and their friend Fultz were arrested during a failed robbery attempt. So Bonnie gets put in jail. She's quickly released after just a few weeks in jail. Like, she's released. April 30th, 1932, Clyde and some of the Barrow gang plan to rob a grocer. During this robbery gone wrong, John Butcher, the owner, is shot. Though not the trigger man, there was a call from the justice on Clyde's head. And according to recently found, this is fucking cool, like recent as of like some of these articles and stuff, but Blanche Barrow is the wife of Buck Barrow.
Okay.
It's Clyde's sister-in-law.
Exactly. And she had written while she was in prison, which we'll kind of get to that point, but like when she was in prison, she wrote like basically everything they went to when they were all together, like during this time away and on the run.
God bless people
Isn't
who keep
this fucking
journals.
wild?
Amen.
So she had this journal and had given it to a friend of hers, and this old lady is being interviewed on this show, and they're like, yeah, I just was going through some stuff to throw away and found these papers. And I'm like,
can you imagine? That's some antique roadshow shit right there. Like,
they're like, $1 million, right?
You're like, oh, take that. You may have this diary that was just sitting in my attic. You can have it. I already made photocopies. Go ahead.
So I believe they published it as a book now, so you can actually read the
Hell
the
yeah.
thing. Yeah.
That's dope.
So at any rate, according to these recently found journals from her, Clyde's time in Eastham prison, like I said, she talks about that and goes into a little bit more in conversation about some of the stuff that he had talked about killing the Ed Crawler guy. And that she says to Clyde's desperation to get away from the prison. She also talks about and there's actually a couple interviews, not just with from Blanche, but also too from Clyde's mother Clyde's sister, as well as one of the prisoners that was in the prison with him, who had said he came in this person and he exited that person.
Yep.
He was not the same.
That's so sad. All over, and not that this is a trivial thing, but stealing a car. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you've altered the course of somebody's whole life and personality.
Yeah. No,
When
again,
you could
not
have
to-
rehabilitated them. I'm not
Yes,
minimizing
exactly.
the
It's so
crime.
hard.
I'm just saying I don't know.
Yeah.
You put them in a traumatic situation over something that's replaceable. I don't know.
The whole thing is so wild. So there's again, they go on this fucking rampage of the Barrow gang and him going out and just now they're on the run. They're on the fucking run. This grocer was killed during this last thing. So they're on the fucking run. And he has said, so the other part of this is that he had told family as well. He's like, they won't fucking catch me alive. Period.
No.
I am not fucking going back there. I am going down dead or I'm not going down.
Yeah.
The end.
Yeah.
Like I will not be going back to this fucking prison. He's like, they will kill me. The end. There is no other way out of this. And he kind of lives up to it. So he's out for revenge. They're doing all this stuff. On July 7th, Barrow's gang had raided an armory, a National Guard armory, getting Barrow's favorite weapon of choice. So he gets a BAR, which is it starts with a B's
Barrington?
Something automatic rifle.
Mm-hmm.
So it could shoot semi-automatic or automatic. They actually fucking showed it on the show. They showed this guy shooting it. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah,
for a
especially
gun
for
made
like
in
1932
1932 or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it can discharge one shot per trigger pull, or it can discharge all shots per trigger.
Jesus.
So, right. Is that fucking wild, right? So then again, they show it on the show, like him shooting this thing off. Oh, it's fucking bizarre, like crazy. The exact gun. And so this is his favorite fucking gun. And he's going up to against, again, police who are fucking basically purchasing their own weapons during the Great Depression.
They've got their own revolvers or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like a no-win situation. Like these guys do not have the type of armory, the type of fucking weaponry that these guys have. So the gang is on the run. They end up with on the run with them is W.D. Jones, Buck Barrow, Blanche Barrow, and then of course Bonnie and Clyde. And they are staying in a little town in your neck of the woods, Joplin, Missouri.
Where?
Joplin, Missouri.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
Joplin is literally like, I want to say like 40 minutes outside of Springfield. Like it's not very far at all.
West of.
Yeah.
Yes. Southwest of. Yeah.
Yes.
It's heading toward Oklahoma.
Yeah. If you're heading towards Oklahoma, if you're driving
on the
from
border
here to Springfield, you will go through Joplin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they end up at this place in Joplin, Missouri, and they are kind of partying, having a wild time. Neighbors are getting a little suspicious and also are like, what the fuck's going on? So they think that they have like they're doing booze running. What am I trying to say?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you're trying to say. They're
Yep.
All I can think of is rum running right now, but I know
that's
what
I
you
was
mean.
thinking as well.
But yeah.
but
it's
Anyway,
like-
in that regard. So anyway,
during the
police get called.
okay.
They show up thinking that they're running booze. They're not, but they're also on the fucking run.
Right.
So they end
this-
up shooting.
This is after the Prohibition, though, right?
No, Prohibition
No,
went
this
all
is
through
during-
the 30s.
All the way through the 30s?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
So
during-
not only was it the Depression, but it wasn't even legal to fucking drink. I'm
they're like,
what
you
a
can't
miserable
self-medicate.
time
with booze.
to be alive. Honestly,
You could get
All of the
arrested for just
30s
being like, I'm sad and I just want some fucking wine. You know what I mean? And they're like, we're going to take you to jail now.
Oh, my
Great.
God.
Fantastic.
it was like shitty. There was like dust everywhere. You're so poor, and
How do
you
people
couldn't even
stay
drink.
here?
It's like
Why do you move?
They couldn't
Well,
go
they couldn't
anywhere
afford to
else.
move.
Yeah, they couldn't
like,
afford
nah.
to go
living
anywhere.
under fucking wagons. Yeah,
I mean, maybe Canada. You're like, please take me.
No,
But I imagine
I don't
the
think you could
entire
even get in there.
and I also think the entire region was probably affected by the Depression. I don't know.
Well, the whole
Where'd you
country.
go? Yeah.
the whole world
Yeah.
was. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Germany during the
'Cause-
30s
yes.
was completely. I mean, we're talking post-World War, like, and the Depression actually hit like everybody in the 30s.
That's what
what the-
facilitated Hitler.
Yeah.
It was,
Oh, that's
it was
right.
coming out of that like economic
Late
depression.
20s, early 30s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess so. It was like, where are you going to go?
Yeah.
Everything sucks.
Yeah.
Well, at least go where you can
this world
drink.
sucks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking yeah. Can you drink in Canada? I'm good.
You
go
can
up
drink
there.
everywhere except for the
They're
United
in Texas.
States.
Just go to Mexico. Listen.
Yeah.
Get some
Yeah.
good tequila.
Shit. We used to go to Canada when I was 18 to drink.
There you go.
Windsor.
Really? Isn't that
Nice.
far? Or was it not far?
Not
Not that
super
far.
far.
No.
I mean, I guess it depends on how desperate you are. I mean, we could
When you're
honestly.
18,
I mean,
how far would you drive to legally drink? Come on, it's not that
Legal
far.
Good point.
Yeah.
Good point. Good point.
But to not legally drink pretty much anywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Your friend's creepy basement. Yeah.
Exactly. The dungeon. So anyway, they are again on the run. They get caught. They end up shooting a couple of officers, and they're like, "We're out." So they're on the run again. They stay on the run for quite some time. Barrow's ultimate goal again is to raid Eastham, And this is, what their plan is all along. Okay. So ultimate goal, end up at Eastham, take down the prison. And this is really kind of the beginning of the end. This is kind of the last stand.
They want to take down the prison?
They want
That's
to
his
fucking
goal?
release as many many fucking prisoners as possible and kill as many guards as they can.
Okay.
That is his fucking goal.
There you
So
go.
they come up on it and they do like a small prison break, basically. End up taking a few guys on the run with him. And again, they're on the run again. And at this point now, they're really wanted like dead or alive. Like this is no shit. Like they are wanted dead and alive. They are on the run. 1934, just outside of Grapevine, Texas. They end up shooting a couple peace officers who had just come up on the gang without even knowing who they were. There is at the time, people were like, oh, this is the time that Bonnie actually shot one of the officers. So this is when she gets involved. The problem is that the one thing that everybody can agree on who's told these stories for over all these years that can all agree on is that Bonnie didn't shoot anybody. It was actually Methvin, who was one of the other prisoners, and everybody agrees on that. So it was at the time when they had gotten the call, it was Clyde, Bonnie, and John Doe, because they didn't know the name. These two are famous, right? So they're the ones who are getting all the press. The other thing is after this Joplin, Missouri thing, they end up finding a roll of undeveloped footage or film in the actual like place that they were staying. That undeveloped footage is the shots that you see of her holding the gun
where
up
it
to
looks like
him.
she's shooting the gun.
She's got the cigar out of her mouth. The one thing that they said that she told one of the officers that they let get away was, she said, tell them that I don't smoke cigars. She was like, I don't smoke cigars.
I mean, clearly to me, when you look at those pictures, they're stylized photos.
They are.
Like that's what they're doing.
They're posing.
They're posing for pictures. To me, I never looked at those and was like, oh my gosh, what a renegade in that way. Because
what a mall,
Yeah, because I'm just like, yeah, you're pointing a gun at his chest. You're like doing all these things. It's clear to me that you're taking stylized photos right now.
Yeah. Well, everybody at the time was taking that very literally.
Of course. I mean, it's a woman with a semi-automatic.
It's
insane. Yeah,
right? So the rumor had always been that Bonnie, of course, was the gunman. Like I said, the Methan family, that sounded like I was going to say methamphetamines.
It sure did.
Yeah, sorry. Bonnie and Clyde had gone back to Texas, were visiting family. The officers were kind of creating a posse together and trying to come up with a way to get these guys, because they were like, enough's the fuck enough. Like we have to take these guys down, period. And so they're trying to figure out a way to like capture them. So they reach out to this Methian's family, and Methvin's family is like, okay, we'll work with you to capture them. They had already been to Texas to visit Bonnie and Clyde's family. She had also they had flipped a car. Bonnie had really injured herself, had third-degree burns down her leg. So they ended up having to go back to family to have them
third-degree fucking burns.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to a hospital.
Dude, like there's so much involved with the story. I'm leaving so much out just for time's sake, but there's so much involved. But I want to get to the final
showdown.
Yeah, because this is what happens. So the Methvins decide to help them out. The family is pretty certain that they're going to come visit them now, because they visited Bonnie and Clyde's family and they're going to come into Louisiana. They're pretty certain they're going to go this way. They're pretty certain they're going to drive down this road. And so what they do is they have his father's car. The whole goal was that if they ever got split up, that their goal was to meet at Methvin's family house, right? Mm-hmm. So they did end up getting split up, and so their goal was to get back to the house. So they knew that he was on their way. They knew that he was coming that way. So they set up Methvin's father on the side of the road with his tire off and his car hitched up, knowing that when Bonnie and Clyde saw him, would be like, oh shit, he needs help, and at least slow down. So they did. And that fucking trap worked. And they were off the side of the edge of the road. And they had procured some weaponry that was able to go up against them.
Okay, I have a question. So the Methvin's family,
I think it's Methvin.
Methvin?
Yeah.
Methvin. How did they feel about this situation? Because I could...
They wanted to help. That's why they helped. They were
they
we
wanted
want
to help
capture
the
these
police.
Yes.
Okay. But they were friends with...
No. I don't think that they really knew Bonnie and Clyde.
Oh,
Their
okay.
son is the one who was with them
I see.
that they has helped escape.
Okay.
Sorry if I did not make that clear.
No. I just wasn't sure. Okay.
Yeah, no, I don't know if I made that really perfectly clear. Methvin was the guy who helped, and he's the one who helped shoot the other cop. When
that Bonnie got blamed for.
Exactly.
Got it.
Exactly. So at any rate, it all ends up working. The police posse is there. Again, were able to procure better weaponry, and they released all their firearms on them. They literally let it go. There were over 100+ bullets in the car. They said that Bonnie was shot 53 times and Clyde was shot 51 times.
Christ.
But they were like, you know what? At the same time,
better safe than sorry. Take them out.
Yeah. Because they had survived bullet wounds before. They had survived these things before. So they were like, we're taking no fucking chances.
It does. It becomes this like larger than life kind of like, that's why there's like this lore of Bonnie and Clyde is because like they managed to like survive all this shit, evade all that shit for so long. Yeah.
It was a pretty intense and a pretty wild story. And I mean, the lore about them, I think, is larger than what the story itself is. I mean, it is a pretty fucking wild story. I mean, if you look at Barrow himself, I mean, that man's a serial killer.
Sure.
I mean, just based off of
his spree killer.
His spree killer. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, like this is, they did go on a rampage, and it's weird because again, the myth.
It's hard to see Bonnie's motivation in any of this. I don't get that from the story.
Fucking in love, and
that's what it must be because I've never, you know what? Like I've never.
I'm like they met before he went to prison, and then like why would she get back with him? Like I don't get
I want
it.
that love story. Like I want her journals. Like I want something that gets me into the mind of. It has to be that. It has to be that.
Everybody had said like they were immediately attracted to each other and immediately in love.
It's not the first one that has happened for, but like that's what I'm wanting. Like I'm wanting I want her journals or his journals that talk about their love story. I want letters to each other. I want something that tells me like this is why you would go through this because she had to know.
You're not going out.
I'm not coming out of this. Like at the end of this, my end game.
I'm not going to need an apple pie recipe because we ain't going to have that kind of life.
Yeah. I mean, it is an interesting story.
It's funny for as many like states as they were on the run and all the places that they'd been. It's like they really did stay fairly close to their home base, which they kind of stayed in that Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana,
Missouri,
Missouri, fucking
Southern
Arkansas,
Midwest,
that kind
Central, Central Southern area. Yeah.
But I mean, I guess, and you're just like, well, why? And again, when you're looking at it from the outside without knowing, I guess maybe some of the motivation behind it, you're like, well, why didn't you just fucking run to Mexico or do whatever, anything?
Probably because there weren't roads.
Well,
I mean, in the
like
ultimate
the
goal,
1930s, the freeway system wasn't until you're talking. What was it, Lyndon Johnson that did the freeways?
Route 40, Route 66.
Yeah,
but I mean,
so there probably weren't roads to go anywhere.
And I guess
else.
if your ultimate goal is to fuck up that prison,
you
can't get that far away from.
Now that the motivation really truly. Yeah,
that's a good.
That's probably what it is. Is like you can't get too far outside of the radius of where that is if like that's really what you're wanting to do. But her motivation really does have to be like she just loved him so much that she wanted to support him because he has a real motivation there.
You gotta love a man with goals. I don't like apathy and like it's not a good goal, but he was definitely very focused and very motivated.
Yeah.
There you go.
There is that.
So
that was amazing.
Yeah,
that was good.
It's so funny. It's been on my question list to like don't I do it.
It wasn't
for
even
so long.
on my list.
Not even mine too. I think that's great
that you had that on your list.
Yeah.
I'm glad I did it though.
Yeah.
Because I will tell you that as much as again, like there's so part of this cultural myth of Americana. You know what I mean? It's like
it's a huge
John
part
Dillinger. It's like it is part of the fabric of our country to know the Bonnie and Clyde. I just didn't know anything really about it.
That their
except for this glamorized story about Bonnie and
I think
Clyde.
that their story persists also because like
we're like Romeo and Juliet, Bonnie and Clyde.
it's a Romeo and Juliet story, right? Like this kind of like doomed love story. But then also there is something, it's like this protagonist that's also an anti-hero, right? Like you're rooting for them because they've been like disenfranchised in a way. And so like you're rooting for the bad guy. It's like watching Breaking Bad. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, you're rooting for the bad guy because you're like, oh, but they've been so like disenfranchised in this way that it almost becomes this like larger than life lore kind of story. Yeah, that like a lot of people.
That's what so many people in
but these are 14
in the 30s.
innocent people
Yeah,
who
absolutely
did not deserve
absolutely.
These
You're
aren't
right.
These
You're
aren't
totally
the
right.
people. These aren't the ones.
Mm-hmm.
These
They
are
didn't do this
14
shit to
innocent
you.
people
Yeah,
that
that's
were
right.
murdered for nothing.
Yeah,
for
you're
this, for
absolutely
your
right.
mind getting right on one subject and like being focused hyper focused.
And isn't
on,
it weird that we do that? Like, isn't it weird that like we as a society like cling to these things where it's just like, but actually, like they're the bad guys.
Well, it's longer than that. It's that whole like Robin Hood thing
Yeah.
where
They
it's like
called them the modern day Robin Hood, and I'm like, you weren't.
But they weren't given anything to the
That's what
poor.
I'm saying.
anything
I'm
to the
like,
poor,
you weren't stealing
but
from the rich
people
and giving to the poor.
people like
They love
people
that.
stealing from the banks or stealing from rich people. It's like something.
Motherfucker, they're stealing from you. You don't.
I mean,
see
but that is what that is. Yeah,
They're stealing
Yeah,
from
they're
you.
stealing from you because.
You
Yeah,
can
there is
call it a
something
bank.
romantic
But that's your
about
money.
There's something romantic about like poor people, really poor, disenfranchised people.
Love to see
stealing
like rich
from-
people get theirs, quote
right,
unquote,
and
it's
stealing
like-
from these institutions that you feel like are fucking you up, especially after the depression when the banks like it's just like after the recession when the banks like did what they did.
Look, these
you know
guys
what I mean?
went to jail for fucking stealing turkeys. You look at that. It's the Jean Valjean. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like he's like trying
You're
to
gonna do hard labor for stealing a loaf of bread. Fucking really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and so it does. It just like stirs up something in us. But when you look at it closer, you are like, okay, but they killed innocent people.
Yeah.
They killed
Right.
like mothers and fathers and daughters and
you can't,
sons
you
and
can't
like
cheer.
yeah.
No,
Yeah.
you can't cheer. You can. I think you can see it from an empathetic standpoint, but you cannot cheer and you cannot give heroics to these people.
Right.
So, what have you guys been watching this week? I read a book.
So remember I was
2
telling
books,
you guys
actually.
that I was interspersing kind of like good and bad, not bad. So I was watching Queer Eye, which
Love it.
oh my god, like
It is-
It's so good. It's so good.
Is a hug that we all need
it
right
is.
now.
It is.
really
Oh my
is.
god, it is.
Did you make it to Kenny, the old man?
Yes, the Czech. Is he? What is he? He's like Croatian.
Yes.
Yes. Oh my god. Yes. Oh my god. Yes.
When they got the dog.
the God blessed
Oh.
dog.
Ooh, there are a couple episodes. So him and then the
Wesley.
guy in the wheelchair.
Yes.
Oh my fucking god! Like
Dude.
I was just my heart. Okay, so watch Queer Eye. We said it before, but like I finally started
You're
to
like,
catch up on it.
I'm on it now.
And yes, but I also saw that season 2 of The Sinner is on Netflix.
I did too. I added it to my list because
And I
I
started
really
it.
liked season 1. I've heard
started it.
season 2 is dope.
It is
as well.
dope. It is different. It
Yes.
is super different than season 1 because it's a completely different
You've
series.
seen it. I see your face.
no, it was
But
something else. Sorry.
can we talk about that? Like, this makes me feel very weird and Soup's uncomfortable, but like, Grandpa Bill Pullman is like low key kind of hot.
Low key,
Like, right?
absolutely.
It's not just
agree.
me.
Yeah.
He's got a beard. He's like old. It's
And
Bill
he's like,
Pullman.
he's
and
got
I'm like,
kind of like whispery and stuff, but I'm just like
Yeah.
kind of like,
you saved us an Independence Day. You
You
kind of like
saved us?
BDSM. I'm kind of
Oh,
into
wait.
it.
yeah,
Wait,
yeah,
what?
yeah.
Do I need to watch
There's
The
a
Sinner?
BDSM element to Bill
Do I
Pullman
need
in
to?
The Sinner.
I need
Yes.
to watch The Sinner.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, you
Cool.
do.
Now
what
I
else am I
will
doing?
give a quick trigger warning that The Sinner does not shy away from some fucked up shit that
Yeah.
you are going to see in that show.
You're like, trigger warning.
Trigger warning. But that show is
That's
super
Jessica Biel, right?
good.
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah.
Yeah, Jessica Biel's in the first season. She's not in the second season. Bill Pullman's the only like through line between the seasons. But Carrie Coon from The Leftovers is in the second season.
Yeah.
and
Chris loves her.
Fucking Anthony, obsessed with her.
Chris
She's
too.
amazing. I mean, she's a great actress.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Chris absolutely fucking loves her.
So super heavy.
Yeah.
The Sinner, lighthearted and wonderful.
And
Queer Eye.
There you go.
Mindhunter,
Coming
August
back.
16th.
Coming
So
back.
excited.
Oh my
So
God.
excited.
Binging.
Totally. I'm here for it.
Also, we have Booty next Saturday night.
Ooh,
I'm gonna
it's
go this
beach
time.
party.
Yes.
Beach party booty.
I'm gonna
Yes.
go.
Yes.
Do you have to dress in bikini?
I will probably. Last time I did a beach party booty, I wore a bikini underneath a Hawaiian shirt.
Ah.
So
Okay.
options.
We'll group chat our
Cool.
outfit
I like it.
ideas.
I just watched. I don't know. Did I talk about this last week? The Boys.
Yes.
You mentioned it. Yeah.
Okay, we just binged the whole series. It is so fucking good. I highly recommend it. Definitely watch it.
Really?
It is so good.
Okay.
It's dark and light at the same time.
Interesting.
I know. Like, it's kind of like if Heroes was better.
Dude,
Oh,
the
but
first season of Heroes
my,
was
good.
good.
Heroes
my
was
future
dark.
ex-husband in it.
Milo.
though.
Who?
Milo.
Oh,
Milo
yeah.
Ventimiglia.
Oh my God, that's right. He was in that. Oh my
Mhm.
God. Jeez, it's
He was
been a-
hot in that. He was
that
hot
was
in everything.
a long
He's
time
hot
ago.
in everything.
Dude, I am excited. I did read another book that I just finished, and it's not the one that I was
Not the
complaining
French
about
one.
earlier. Yeah. I read another, what's her name? The girl.
Oh, the one that did Beautiful Stranger?
Nope. Other one.
Oh, I haven't read.
Cynthia. Totally lost it. Anyway, Book Boyfriend is what it was called. It was good.
Book Boyfriend?
Book Boyfriend.
Oh, I,
Yeah,
don't,
I
I
like
don't
the other
like the
one
way
better.
this you said. It was good.
No, it wasn't as good as the other one she wrote, but I
Oh, okay.
enjoyed it.
Okay.
I enjoyed it better than the one I'm currently reading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I enjoy Beautiful Stranger. I also
Dude.
enjoyed my Amazon purchase. So, which we had somebody like
Ask about. Yeah.
I have the link. If you're curious, hit me up
Just
because
DM
it's
us.
the best $27 you'll ever spend. I'll tell you that.
I'm gonna get one
Do it.
I'm kind of want to
for
get
real.
one. I know.
$27. It's
Dude.
like fucking
I
nothing.
might wait till I get a job again.
And it's ridiculous. I'm like, it really does. I'm like, we put a man on the moon and we
Just don't eat out
Put
for
me
like
on the
a
moon.
week. You know, it's worth it.
exactly
For like, you know, however many years before that thing gives
Does
out.
anybody
worth it.
need wedding hair?
All right. Well, if you guys have stories, recommendations, you just want to talk to us or hit us up, go to myworstatepodcast.com. It's our one-stop shop of a website. And Keegan's always looking for stuff that's stuck in things, stories.
Oh, Jesus.
Fishing
I-
stories, I'm in it. And listen, you can fish anywhere.
I-
All the orifices, I'm open.
I like the high school stories, like people like hiding in closets from other people's parents.
fucking
always
love that
make me
too.
pee my pants.
yes.
So,
Oh,
and Cassie, what's yours?
I don't know. I love anything that's embarrassing, really.
Yeah, it's super awkward. You get the giggles, and then that makes
Yeah.
me laugh. When you really laugh, that makes me laugh.
Yeah. We've had some good ones.
Yeah, we have. Well, keep writing to us. Remember to reach out to us about your Patreon suggestions, what you want to see on there. And we love you guys. We'll see you next time.
Cheers.